Hello and welcome to Whether or Not. We have another great show for you today. Brian will be in the studio with your forecast. Marissa will be talking about Halloween, and our Nature in the News stories will bring up wine and pigs. So stay tuned because Whether or Not starts right now. Hello and welcome to Whether or Not. I'm your host, Veronica Dolan.
And I'm your forecaster, Brian Mastro.
Well, Brian, last weekend it was pretty chilly and we actually saw some snow around the area.
Yeah, in addition to the snow, we also had some grapple fall, which is kind of a hybrid of winter precipitation and sometimes referred to as snow pellets or even soft hail. Now, this weekend, it won't be anywhere near as cold and won't be getting that wintry precipitation. We'll find out the full details on the weather this weekend later on in my forecast.
We'll look forward to that, but now to Nature in the News.
The world is trying to shift away from fossil fuels, and some European countries, including England, have switched to wood to provide electricity. Mass shipments of trees are ground up, heated, dried, and pressed into wooden pellets that are then burned to produce energy, much like the same process used for coal or natural gas. However, the process is not fully efficient, as about half of the wood is wasted in this process, as 1 ton of trees only yields half a ton of pellets. Most of the trees are prepared into pellets in the southeastern United States before being shipped over to Europe, where they are used to produce electricity. The wood pellets are far from an ideal replacement for fossil fuels, as they still produce a large amount of greenhouse gases when burned, and the number of trees, much like fossil fuels, is only a small, limited amount.
Effort to better detect and protect the public from severe weather in Charlotte, North Carolina, and similarly populated areas in the United States has been put into effect. Bills have been introduced in the U.S. House and Senate that, if signed into law, would require the National Weather Service, or NWS, to install a Doppler radar within 55 miles of a city with a population of over 700,000. Weather experts agree that the current Doppler technology locations in North Carolina are insufficient and do not give meteorologists the tools they need to detect and warn citizens of potentially dangerous weather. This is a significant public safety problem, such as the tornado of 2012 that damaged up to 192 homes in the Charlotte area. Charlotte is currently covered by an NWS Doppler radar located 94 miles away in Greer, South Carolina. In addition, no other city of Charlotte's size currently has a radar situated more than 58 miles away. A new Doppler may be the best solution, but due to costs, another method may need to be found. Other areas that could use better Doppler coverage include Tyler, Texas, the Harrisburg, Lancaster, York, Pennsylvania region, and the Greensboro, Winston, Salem, High Point area of North Carolina.
Scientists have discovered a way to edit pigs' DNA to make its organs usable in humans. This new alteration, called Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Reports, or CRISPR for short, could revolutionize the future of organ transplants. Thousands of people die each year from waiting for organ transplants because there just simply is not enough organs to meet the large demand. Dr. George Church of Harvard Medical School has been doing experiments altering pigs' DNA within its organs in order to prevent the human body from rejecting the organs post-transplant. While this new method could greatly enhance the chance of humans in need of transplants receiving the organs they need in time, the research is still in the very early stages and is years from ever potentially becoming viable. This method of DNA altering also raises ethical questions, and some people are wondering if they would stop with pigs and if they would ever attempt DNA alterations within humans.
Evacuations and a suspension of the grape harvest in California's Lake County occurred 1 month after a destructive valley fire. After igniting on September 12th, a total of 76,000 acres and around 2,000 structures were burned. The fire was finally contained October 6th, becoming the third most damaging wildfire in recorded history of California. 10 wineries were forced to evacuate in the middle of harvest and shut down for several days. Shedhorn Cellars in Middleton, California, suffered the most damage to its production facility. One positive was that the company had extra inventory stored off-site. This harvest was one of the earliest on records for the county, which has about 35 wine producers and roughly 8,800 acres of vineyard. Harvest was wrapping up by early October. Typically, it can extend into November. Early in the fire's development, tests were done to ensure that smoke had not permeated through the skin of the grapes. Once samples were taken, the test indicated no elevated levels in the compound.
Hello, I'm Brian Mastro, and we're here to take a look at your forecast for this weekend here in central Pennsylvania. So what exactly are we looking at for the beginning of your weekend? On Friday, we do have two high-pressure systems, one right here over Canada, another one down here over the Carolinas, and that will bring with it plentiful sunshine here in central Pennsylvania, making it a lovely late October day, so make sure you are able to get out there and enjoy it before we don't have this coming around too much anymore. And then off to our west over here, we do have this low-pressure system setting up over Minnesota with the associated warm front and cold front with it, and that rain showers as well, that will be working its way eastward towards Pennsylvania throughout the rest of your weekend. So looking ahead towards Saturday, that high-pressure system is now sitting just north of New York City, right over the New England region, as this low-pressure system now over the Great Lakes region, and the rain has begun to work its way into western Pennsylvania, bringing with it the chance for some rain to even reach here in State College as early as Saturday night. And then working our way into Sunday, the rain has now arrived here in central Pennsylvania. This cold front has worked its way through our area, dropping with it some light rain, nothing too major, but it will dampen our day on Sunday. And then also, we'll be taking a look at our fall foliage that we have in Pennsylvania for this weekend. If you're up here in the northernmost portions of the state, it might be a little bit too late to be able to get out there and enjoy that lovely fall foliage. However, you're not too far away from our rest of another band right here that is still in the peak region of our fall foliage. And over here in western Pennsylvania, pretty much all western Pennsylvania and right now is currently in their peak for fall foliage. And down here in southeastern PA, don't you worry, just another week or so, and then you'll be able to get out there for that lovely fall foliage as well. So what are we actually looking at for this weekend? Bringing it right back here to central Pennsylvania. For your day on Friday, we'll have plentiful sunshine, just an absolutely gorgeous late October day with that temperature coming around 55 degrees. Perfect weather to just get out there, go for a hayride or something like that. And then working your day into your night on Friday, we will have that low temperature dropping all the way down to 32 degrees. So if you are going out on Friday, make sure you do bring a jacket with you, as it will be quite chilly with those partly cloudy skies as well. And then for your day on Saturday, we'll have partly cloudy skies with that temperature coming in at 58 degrees, with clouds increasing into the evening and overnight hours, with that chance of rain potentially moving into our area overnight on Saturday, when we will have that low dropping down to around 47 degrees. So you won't need that jacket like you did on Friday night, but you will need that umbrella just in case. And then for your day on Sunday, those rain showers will continue to linger around here in Pennsylvania with our high temperature around 58 degrees. That's all I have for you right now. So now let's enjoy Marissa Lautenbacher with her feature on Halloween.
As we start to get into the depths of fall and the leaves start to show their magnificent colors as they start to fall, we're reminded that Halloween and our winter holidays are right around the corner. One of our fall favorites, the pumpkin, is highly dependent on the weather. If you want your jack-o'-lantern to last, then you shouldn't carve the pumpkin until the last minute. When a pumpkin is healthy, the whole pumpkin can actually last 8 to 12 weeks. If it's carved, then the lantern will only last a week. If you want to extend the life of your pumpkin, then keep it cool and the fall air will help, unless freezing temperatures take hold. Pumpkins aren't the only thing that need to be aware of weather during Halloween night. Trick-or-treaters need to be aware of their costumes in order to stay comfortable when bracing the chilly autumn air. Some outfits are fairly thin and don't provide much warmth, so bring an extra jacket when heading out the door with the candy bag, and the kids might not like to have to bundle up if temperatures take a dip. So plan accordingly and have layered costumes so you can dress according to the weather. A couple of Penn State students tell their Halloween tales on how to dress for Halloween.
One Halloween, I was really excited to be Batman, and it got really cold outside, so my mom made me put on my winter coat. And when I went around to all the houses, no one could see my costume, and I got really sad.
It was quite an interesting one. We actually got all bundled up because it was really cold outside, and there was a threat of some precipitation. So my mom had some ponchos in her purse, and then it started snowing as we got farther into the night, and I lived in a close neighborhood, so some of our neighbors actually started handing out hot chocolate and hot apple cider. It was interesting because then the next day we ended up building snowmen because there was like that much snow. I ended up having like a jacket on, so you couldn't really see my costume. All you could really see was like my mask, and then I had like a winter hat, so it kind of didn't really look like a costume, but no one really looked like they were wearing a costume that year because it was really freaking cold out.
Some Halloweens have been especially chilling, and not just with scary door decorations. Sometimes Jack Frost likes to make an early entrance, even during trick-or-treat night. Winter constantly shows its face in the higher elevations of the country. Vivian Rennie recalls her childhood Halloween in Breckenridge, Colorado.
I don't think I've ever had a Halloween without snow. We plan our costumes and everything around them. I've always made sure I've been dressed up enough. But one year I was going up a hill, going up to a house, the top to trick-or-treat at, and I got distracted and I started sliding and I fell down and I slid all the way down the hill, like almost a half a block, with candy like dropping right behind me in a line.
Everyone wants to know how much snow is in the winter forecast, and what's unique about this upcoming winter is the question on how the El Niño is going to affect the temperatures and how much snow the Northeast is going to receive. So with the end of the first of many holidays to come, better grab the coats, the gloves, and the booties and prepare for the freezing temperatures to arrive in the upcoming months. For Whether or Not, I'm Marissa Lautenbacher.
Thank you for that, Marissa. I hope all of you out there are looking forward to Halloween next weekend. I know I am. Hopefully we'll have some nice weather to be able to enjoy it. But for now, let's take a look at our extended forecast. We'll start with a look at your weekend recap. For your day on Friday, we'll have a high temperature around 55 degrees with plentiful sunshine. So make sure you are able to get out there and enjoy a lovely late October day. However, for Friday night, if you are planning on going out, notice here, we'll be dropping all the way down to 32 degrees, all the way to the freezing mark. So if you are going out, make sure you do bring a nice heavy coat as you will be needing it Friday night. And then for your day on Saturday, we'll have some partly cloudy skies with that high temperature coming in right around 58 degrees. And then for your overnight low on Friday, we'll have that temperature around 47 degrees, which is significantly warmer than we had Friday night, so you won't be needing as heavy of a coat, but you might be needing that umbrella as overnight on Saturday is when we are expecting that chance of rain to begin working its way into our area. And then for Sunday is when we are actually expecting rain throughout much of the day. Nothing too serious, just some light showers with that high temperature around 58, dropping off to around 40. So now let's take a look at your extended forecast for next week. For Monday and Tuesday, we are expecting some sunny days with that temperature right around 60 degrees. But then notice what happens throughout the rest of the week as this high temperature does begin to drop. So there will be a noticeable cooling trend. Nothing too extreme, just a few degrees above average to a few degrees below average, but it will be a noticeable cooling trend. And then Wednesday and Thursday, there is the chance for some rain showers to once again be working their way into our region. And then those will be clearing out for your day on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday is Halloween, so make sure you do stay tuned for the latest forecast and tune in next week for our Halloween forecast.
Well, thanks, Brian, for that forecast. It'll be nice to be seasonable.
Yeah, it's going to be very much like what we would expect for late October, which is quite perfect for those pre-Halloween festivities that might be going on next week.
Sounds good. And now to our Weather Whiz quiz. Earlier in the show, we asked you, what direction do winds blow around areas of low pressure in the northern hemisphere? Is it A, outward, B, counterclockwise, C, towards the North Pole, or D, clockwise? And if you guessed B, counterclockwise, you're correct.
Yeah, the best example of this is if you're ever trying to observe this for yourself is hurricanes, because they have a very definitive counterclockwise rotation around their eye, and they themselves are, in fact, low-pressure systems.
Thanks, Brian, for that neat fact. And that's all we have for today's show. I'm your host, Veronica Dolan.
And I'm your forecaster, Brian Mastro. Have a terrific rest of your day.